All right, student, welcome to Digital Marketing 3, lesson 26. So as we just discussed in lesson 25, we spoke about the introduction to the macro environmental factors influencing digital marketing, particularly strategy. We spoke about different ways of looking at these factors that have got a huge impact on the existence of a brand within the online communities. And we discussed that these factors, brands do not necessarily have some direct control on them, but they can always be agile and be able to adapt to these factors. So we spoke about the PESEL analysis. It just depends with how you look at it. Some call it PESEL, some call it SLEPT, some call it PEST, but it needs to look at the wider environmental factors affecting digital marketing strategy. So we spoke about identifying the macro environment factors that affect the digital marketing strategy, its planning, its implementation, and its performance. We also discussed the legal, moral, and ethical constraints of digital marketing, and we spoke about the aspects of each of the macro environment forces that are particularly relevant to marketing. And these aspects that we spoke about were the political factors, the economic factors, the social factors, the technological factors, the environmental factors, and the legal factors. And I also explained how sometimes there's a blur line between legal factors and political factors. And in some academics, environmental factors are actually identified as physical factors. So we also spoke about the significance of social media in the microenvironment. I gave you an example of TikTok and how it has changed the way people post content and how it has changed to the way marketers are coming up with strategies and marketing communications plans to address the unique nature of TikTok. So this shows the impact of social media platforms such as TikTok on digital marketing. So with this lesson, I'm going to leave you students with something to think about. I'm going to leave you with something that is going to stimulate and incite some thought-provoking scenarios when it comes to the PESTEL analysis. So with these scenarios, you need to be able to explain the relevance and applications of SMS messaging in marketing. Remember, SMSs have got lots of factors that you can have to consider whenever you are coming up with SMS messaging. One of the non-example that I can give you guys is the POPI Act, which deals with the protection of personal information. So how do you manage databases for SMS messaging? So you need to have some thoughts on the macro environmental factors that can affect SMS messaging, and also need to be able to know about mobile apps, mobile applications. Remember, we did some exercises in class. I asked each and every student, how many mobile apps do you have in your phone? So there are so many factors, such as technological factors, that you can consider when coming up with the management of mobile apps as a brand, not as a consumer. So these are the terms that we continue to think about as we go through this lesson. I introduced these terms in the previous lesson, in lesson 25. You need to think about the macro environment. You need to think about strategic agility. So this is the capability to innovate and so gain competitive advantage within a marketplace by monitoring changes within a brand's marketplace and then efficiently evaluating alternative strategies, selecting, reviewing, and implementing appropriate candidate strategies. So strategic agility is actually crucial when looking at the wider environmental analysis. Then we've got environmental scanning, we've got situation analysis, we've got online marketplace. So these are the terms that are synonymous with this topic that we are discussing, the topic of macro environmental analysis. So I'm going to leave you with these thought-provoking questions that are also part of the case analysis when considering the environment in which to use SMS platforms and to use mobile applications. So the first question that we need to have some thoughts about, that we need to discuss when we meet on Thursday, is what is the relevance and applications of SMS messaging in digital marketing? So you need to consider the personal forces on this question. So consider the political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental forces. Then the second question will be, what is the relevance and application of mobile applications in digital marketing? Just with the same with the first question, you need to consider political, economic, social, technological, legal, and economic forces. So you need to consider this. Remember, when you are doing your F1, coming up with strategies for SPA to you, there is a question that talks about macro analysis, how you need to consider political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors around the deployment of the delivery service called SPA to you. So this exercise also helps you with the assignment that you are currently working on. Then you need to consider, how can one focus revenue for an online business? We spoke about this in lesson 23, and we can also bring it in here, because whenever you are coming up with alternative revenue streams for an online business, you also need to consider the relevant wider environmental forces affecting this alternative way of generating income. So these are things that I'm going to leave you with, that we are going to discuss on Thursday. And remember, in the previous chapter, we spoke about the microenvironment. We spoke about customers and how they matter to the immediate trading environment of any business. We spoke about the competitors and how they matter when it comes to the immediate trading environment of a business. We did some of exercising there by the use of e-commerce such as Shein online, such as Wish online. We also spoke about intermediaries, the use of intermediaries and how intermediaries are part of the immediate trading operation of any given environment. And in this chapter, we are going to look at the wider environmental forces that influence digital marketing. And I believe the first environmental force that we are going to look at is the macroeconomic forces. You know how bad the economy is becoming in this country. You know the nature of the rand as a currency against other currencies. You know, the fuel prices, the unemployment, all these things do contribute to digital marketing, and we are going to discuss how. So as I said, in the marketing literature, you will come across the environmental factors being grouped as acronyms, depending on how you capture them for easy remembrance. You can use it as pest, as slap, or as pestle, but each letter must represent the arrangement of the political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental forces. So for a digital marketer, the most important task is to carry out a thorough assessment of the forces that are shaping the online trading environment and identify which forces have implications for their own marketing planning and strategic direction. So these are the things that as marketers, as we are training to be marketing practitioners, need to take note of, especially in this dynamic, changing environment. If there are any questions or if there are any comments, feel free to express yourself. Feel free to take note of the wider environment of where you exist and analyze how it affects your existence, because that's the same way that brains do. So feel free to do that and engage on core campus discussion forums, engage in the groups that have been put in the virtual digital marketing 3 groups that we have been put in, so that we can discuss and share the insights together. So in the next lesson, we are going to be looking at the economic forces. So this is the first environmental factor that you are going to be looking at. You are going to be analyzing the economic forces. So that's it for lesson 26. See you in class on Thursday, where we will discuss everything further. Thank you. Enjoy your public holiday and happy Human Rights Day.